Now, if we're going to secure Australia's future from the China challenge, this is far more than about war, really. Let's hope, anyway. We need to get serious about getting richer and technologically advanced because we're being lapped. You just take all the fast speed, just one example, the fast speed rail lines that China has built. Luxury at up to 400 kilometres an hour. And it's built these rail lines all over China in just the last 20 years, when we still don't have even one. When we instead waste our billions on green projects to pretend to stop global warming. And speaking of, a few days ago, the Albanese government boasted of its latest breakthrough in this supposed, green energy revolution. The Deputy Prime Minister was there with a big grin at the opening of Australia's first big public hydrogen station in Geelong, where you can fill your truck or your car with this explosive new green gas. Which is exciting, except I then read this catch. The catch is what you are paying for this one single hydrogen refuelling centre in one Victorian town or city. $34 million. That was from the Albanese government's Australian Renewable Energy Agency. $34 million, plus another $1 million from the Victorian government. Makes you wonder how desperate a government has to be to spend so much on so little to prove something that it's doing might one day work. Joining me is our Tuesday regular commentator, Nationals MP Matt Canavan, the former Resources Minister. Matt, thanks for your time again. How much sense does this make? $35 million in all from taxpayers for just one hydrogen filling station.
It's a complete load of nonsense, Andrew, to waste so much Australian taxpayer money on something that delivers so little for Australians. Keep in mind, just last week we heard from one of the very few producers of hydrogen at the moment operating in Australia that hydrogen is still costing around 5 times more than gas. 5 times more than gas. So not only is the petrol, the hydrogen fueling station cost a fortune for taxpayers, if you were to actually go and fill up, and I don't know who has an hydrogen car right now, but if you did have one and go to fill up there, you'd be paying 5 times the price of what you did at your local service station. Who is this trying to help or benefit right now when Australia has just two oil refineries left in this country? Shouldn't the priority be, particularly given the geopolitical circumstances we face, that we should seek to rebuild our declining oil production sector, because that would give us real security as a nation? I don't think we're going to see hydrogen-fueled tanks on the battlefield anytime soon. The Joint Strike Fighters we have bought from the United States are not fueled by hydrogen, and while we wait for the nuclear subs, our Collins-class submarines are also not fueled by hydrogen. Why would we sit back and let have the circumstance of just 2 oil refineries left while we waste billions of dollars, upwards of $14 billion at the moment? This government is pumping in to a hydrogen strategy that has failed and should end.
Honestly, it's so crazy they actually had to use some of that money to actually buy the trucks to use the hydrogen filling station. That's how stupid the whole thing is. There's now actually,
they call them commercial trucks. They're commercial trucks, but the government has to buy them.
Oh, for goodness sake. But Matt, partly because of you, I am sure, there is now a growing revolt against this net zero madness. I mean, that's the government's plan to cut our emissions to zero net by 2050, when most of the rest of the world won't. In just the past couple of weeks, you've had the Liberal Party's South Australian branch voting against keeping that net zero target. So did the Northern Territory's Country Liberal Party branch. And now the New South Wales National Party branch has done exactly the same. What does this tell you?
Well, it tells me, thankfully, the gag has come off. The gag has come off our own members and the broader public too. We've effectively been muzzled the last few years from stating the obvious, that this net zero goal is unachievable and is costing us all an arm and a leg. I've been involved in many party conventions and meetings where you're effectively not allowed to debate the issue because it might embarrass the politicians. Well, the politicians did a pretty good job of embarrassing themselves at the federal election this year. We've got absolutely walloped. So our members are in no mood to take lectures from their perceived betters about what they should and should not debate. So I, for one, welcome this blossoming of democracy, of debate, I think we need a debate. I believe the Australian people should have a proper choice on whether we should completely change how we do everything. And I mean everything: how we grow food, how we transport it, how we make things, and of course how we produce electricity. Everything. Should we do that within a generation? Is that a sensible thing to do? And you saw the Lowy Institute poll just this week. It shows that there is not only just over a third of Australians think that net zero has made their life better. Another third think it's made it worse, and the others are not even sure. And that's before we've had a debate. That's before net zero has had contact with a political enemy.
I'm shocked. Are you telling me 1/3 of Australians still think net zero has made their life better? I mean, for goodness sake. We've just gone through...
They may have voted Labor. That may be, that's the...
Well, some people can't be told. But we've just gone through an election, Matt, where we had a government tell us that nuclear power was just uneconomic, it was useless, it was no good, it was so bad it had to be banned and the whole thing. Funnily enough, Matt, there's been a huge jump in the share prices of Australian uranium companies over the past 2 days, between 20 and 30% more. What's going on? Apparently some people don't believe our government when it says that uranium's no good or nuclear's no good.
Yeah, well, one of the problems we seem to have, Andrew, is that this government seems to find itself shocked by news that should be well and truly expected. So that's likely on the hydrogen story you've just mentioned. It's clear that hydrogen's not working. Why do they keep wasting money? And likewise here, they maintain this ridiculous arguments against, the Labor Party maintain these ridiculous arguments against nuclear energy. Well, it's very clear the rest of the world's moving towards it. Indeed, even the Amazon CEO the other day, alongside the Prime Minister, questioned why Australia is not jumping on the nuclear bandwagon. We're seeing all of these data centres around the world powered by reliable power. I don't see how we have a significant expansion of data centres in this country based on intermittent weather-dependent renewables. They need power all the time. They cannot have any interruptions, and of course renewable energy cannot be relied upon to deliver that. That's why Microsoft and Amazon, all of these companies are either using nuclear power stations offered in North America or Europe, or they're even using coal-fired power stations in Asia to fund these data centres. So just like the oil situation, Andrew, data is very important. It's part of national security now. And we should be able to store our own data on our own big brown continent, but we won't be able to if we just rely on the weather.